Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and today I am reviewing Dokapon Kingdom Connect. And before I really get into it, I want to say that I was provided a Steam code for this game by Idea Factory, but despite getting a code, I wanted to say that all my thoughts and ideas on this game are entirely my own. So thank you so much for Idea Factory for providing me with a code, and let's get into the video. Dokapon Kingdom Connect is actually a remaster of a Wii and PS2 game, just named Dokapon Kingdom. And while I have never played it, I have watched hundreds of hours of other people playing it, and I never got the chance to play it because it was going for hundreds of dollars online. So I was really excited to have Dokapon Kingdom Connect be revealed, and it coming to both Nintendo Switch and Steam. Like I said before, I am playing the Steam version, but I assume that the version on Switch will be roughly the same. The gameplay of Dokapon Kingdom is like a mix of an RPG, Mario Party, and Monopoly. It's an RPG in its battles and item collection. Everyone has 4 options of attack and defense, and throughout the game you're able to change usually 2 or 3 of these options, but everyone will have the same attack, strike, defend, and counter options. These 4 options kind of work like rock, paper, scissors. Like attack and defend act as you would expect, but strike is a really powerful attack, and counter is, well, a counter to a strike, and it will put that full force of the strike back on its user. So if you think your opponent is going to counter, don't use strike. But counter basically doesn't use any defense, so you shouldn't use counter if the enemy is going to attack you. And of course there are different weapons, shields, and other equipment that you can find on your journey. There are also different jobs you can be, and switch between them whenever you want, similar to Final Fantasy V. You start out with either the warrior, thief, or mage class, and as you upgrade your job, you're able to change into a wide variety of classes. Each class even has their own skills, like a warrior is able to have their attack randomly increase, and the thief can steal items from other players. when they walk past them. Stuff like that makes the classes feel so unique from one another. Also, every class has specific stat upgrades, so if you want to upgrade a stat, then you should level up the class associated with it. There are also random battles or events that can have some pretty wacky stuff happen in them. Now, it's like Mario Party in the way that every player has their own turn. You roll or spin to move a different amount of spaces, and you can roll 0. While it is a very low chance, it can still happen, and it can be really annoying when you want to make progress, and then you roll and immediately go into another battle. You're also able to roll and land on another player's space to battle them, and you can usually battle them anywhere on these blank spaces, or in towns that have a monster in them. So you can mess with your friends if you follow them around. And it's like Monopoly by having you free towns from bosses, and when you free the town you get all their earnings and you even get a salary from your job. You can also upgrade your towns to level 6 to get even more money from them. Now, if you don't have any friends to play with, you can play with CPUs, though if you put them on the sneaky difficulty, they will look like they cheat, like get the exact roll they need, which is suspicious. Also, at the start of their turn they'll say something which I just think adds a bit of personality to them. Now let's talk about the different modes that can be found in Dokapon Kingdom. First, and most importantly, the story mode. No matter what mode you choose, you can play with multiple players or CPUs, which is really cool since you can play the story mode, which takes a lot of time with other people. Now in this video, I will only be talking about up to chapter 1, so if you don't want to hear about that, you can skip the story mode section. But there isn't a whole lot to spoil you in this chapter. And to quickly summarize the story, the Kingdom of Dokapon has been overrun by monsters, with every town being taken over. To fix this, the king has asked for the help of adventurers to free the towns and get the most money, and whoever has the most money will get to marry his daughter, Penny, and then will be the next King of Dokapon! So yeah, to win this story mode, you want to end up with the most money, and you'll get that by having the most towns and stuff. But story mode is very long, and I'm only going to be talking about chapter 1, and there are a total of 8 chapters, so there's a lot of time for you to win. So at the start of every chapter, except for the prologue where you and everyone else get weapons and tries to leave first to get more points to put in your stats, there will be a big monster that you have to take down, and after doing it a few times, you'll get the actual story objective, which in chapter 1 is finding the wise grandma to get the cure for poison to give to Penny's dog Cash, who ate a poisoned donut. Yeah, this game is pretty silly, but that's the charm of it all. Don't go expecting this game to have the same story quality as like Xenoblade, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it since the story is fun with friends. So you go and try to be the first person to take the antidote to the castle, but of course you have to watch out for other players as they can take it from you to get their reward. And the reward for finishing the last objective per chapter is the continent's castle, which in this case is Con Castle. And that's the basic gameplay for the story mode. Now I will say that in this first chapter, one of the players was able to get a ton of towns and seemed to be on top, but this game can literally go on for hundreds of in-game weeks. And in the game you're even able to reset the towns, so please don't get discouraged if you end up last for a bit because it can turn around at the drop of a hat. Though this game can really bully you, like one player just kept dying and losing their weapons, so it can really feel like the game is unfair, but it comes to every player, trust me. So yeah, that's the basic gist of the story mode, which is probably what you're going to be playing for a while. On to the next mode, normal mode, which is similar to story mode where you need the most money to win, except it's only for a set amount of weeks and you can choose your starting level and amount of weeks you want to play. I think it's a good mode to try and get your friends invested in the Dokapon without having to play through the entire story mode. The Battle Royale mode is interesting as there are a few different win conditions, like trying to get 3 items first, getting the most towns, or killing other players. I think these are nice modes that can add to the experience if you don't want to play the story mode and want something a bit different. I do think that the story mode is the best mode you can choose, as you start out with either one of the 3 starting classes being Warrior, Thief, and Mage, then as the story progresses you're able to change classes as you progress through the story, but in other modes you're locked to these 3 classes at the start, and I think it's a big missed opportunity to not allow you to play some of the crazier classes. Like even giving us the option to play as Ninja or Spell Sword at the start could give us a bit of a head start, would have been really cool, but no. There are some really cool classes, but as far as I'm concerned, they're locked in the story mode, as I just don't think anyone's going to be playing these other modes in long enough bursts to be able to unlock them without the game ending. Now this game wasn't a 1-to-1 port of the PS2 and Wii version. The graphics and textures are overall a whole lot cleaner and higher quality than the original, while still keeping the original models and art styles. And I think the game looks really good, though I am basing it off of Let's Plays of the game, so I'm not the best judge since I haven't seen the original up close, but this game still impressed me with how clean it looked. There are a couple of changes here and there that I noticed, like the shop icons are a bit different from the originals. Also, Chance's model adds some more clothing, which I'm sure someone is really mad about, but it's fine, and I only really noticed it because of how many hours of this game I've watched. They added textures that don't add a place for new players to recognize something has even been added. The music is also the same as the original, and it can be pretty catchy, but I don't think it gets annoying, especially since there are numerous sound effects that can play over it to take your attention away before it gets too repetitive. Also, all the voices I think are just perfect. Here are some of my favorite spoken lines.
The hand of Princess Penny in marriage.
Out of my way.
Hey there.
Okay, now for some issues I actually had with playing this port. Just as a reminder, I am playing the Steam version, so I can't say if these issues also appear in the Switch version. The game sometimes lags a bit when there are a lot of particles and effects on the screen. Like, it isn't game breaking or anything since it's turn-based, but it's something I noticed, especially since I don't think there were any slowdown issues on the previous versions, and I would like to think that my PC is at least better than a PS2. Also, there was some weird screen tearing on the words on the screen, and it didn't really happen when I was recording my gameplay, just a bit when Weber appeared. But it was happening a lot when I was playing on my own, and again, not game breaking, but very weird and something that I hope can be fixed, but considering it didn't happen when I was recording, who knows, maybe it was my issue. Also, at the bottom of the screen you're able to see whose turn it is, even during cutscenes. This is a new feature since online is now added to the game, but it's weird that it doesn't disappear in these cutscenes, like again, not game breaking, but very weird and I would think easily fixable. Other than those small issues, I really had fun playing this game. I think Dokapon Kingdom Connect is at its best when you have a group of friends who can get together once a week and play through a chapter of the story. There will be ups and downs for who's winning, but I think it's a fun time as you guys go across the different continents and battle monsters and each other. There are just so many cool wacky characters that you can find while you're playing. This game is much deeper than you would originally think, and there's a lot that I really wish I could talk about, but for this short review I won't mention it, since I think you guys should be able to experience it for yourself. Also, if you're playing on Steam and you're not able to have multiple controllers connected to your PC at once, you can just pass around one controller, which I think works fine. I do wish when you're battling other players, it was handled a bit better, but I don't know what else you could really do. But I am glad they gave an option for this, since I feel like this game could have used a bit more settings. I don't think there's any added settings that weren't there in the original version. You can speed up text, speed up walk speed, but there isn't a lot for really changing how the game works on PC like you would expect for other PC ports. So yeah, that's Dokapon Kingdom Connect, a pretty good port of a really expensive Wii game, and I'm really happy I finally get to play this game and have it actually be accessible. Now here's hoping it finally gets some sequels in the West that follow the same formula. The game has so much personality that I think anyone could enjoy, especially with how easy it is to pick up and understand. Thank you again to Idea Factory for providing me with a code, and I hope you enjoyed the video, have a good day, and goodbye!